Harriet's method of solving cubics?
The answer is A, Harriet's method of solving cubics.
Hi SMS, this is Mrs. Long, and I want to talk to you today about something important, ISTEP. We've got ISTEP dates coming up. Look at this. Writing, February 28th to March 9th, and our progress, April 25th to May 4th. It's not too early to start planning and thinking. We are, and which means we're going to get you ready to plan and think about passing ISTEP this year. Let's talk about ISTEP. Let's look at this chart up here. There's some things I want you to know because I don't want you to be left out in the cold, and no one told me. First off, you're going to look on your overall score and performance levels. You're going to see whether you passed or not. You're going to look whether you passed or you're in the pass plus range. Sit up, listen to me, all right? You have to score more points each year to pass ISTEP. Let's break this down and let's talk about the different areas. We have vocabulary, nonfiction info text, literary text, writing process, writing application, language conventions. Oh my, I don't know what all of that means. Well, I'm going to tell you because you need to know. I want to tell you what's important with vocabulary. This tests your knowledge of word parts, relationships. Remember, your teachers talk to you about clues. This is where they capture it. Nonfiction and info text. What's the author's purpose? What's the author's purpose when you read some non-fiction information text? What are the essential ideas? What are the arguments that the author's trying to make? Here's where they get you. Literary text. Plot lines, folks. Characterization, central idea, theme. These words aren't new to you. Writing process. Okay, you know that score, 5 out of 6, 6 out of 6, 4 out of 6? Right here, writing applications. You know the 4 writings: narrative, persuasive, expository, descriptive. Narrative, persuasive, expository, descriptive. Your teachers are going to work with you this year and review those. You better know them and know how to answer those prompts because this is where they get you. Language conventions. Are you spelling things right? Prefixes, suffixes. Are you using modifiers? Do you know your sentence structure? Let's look over here to the open-ended items. Okay, we see a lot of how many points earned. 5 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 3 out of 6. We need to get everybody at least to a 4. We need to get everybody at least to a 4. If you're not a 4, you need to work harder to get yourself into that category. If you're a 5, we need to move you up, and we need to get you into a 6 category. This means essay and short answer questions. Essay. You're going to get that from your large essay, your persuasive, your narrative, whatever ISTEP, whatever type of prompt they give you. They're going to have you maybe read a story and respond with 2 examples. How do you do that? Well, you need to support it. And to do that, you go find 2 examples and you put them in quotations in your answer. You put it in quotations and then you put a response in there of why that supports the answer. And then you find something else in that story and you put it in quotations and you respond of why that supports that answer. You put it in quotations and then you put a response in there of why that supports the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, ISTEP's looking for direct quotations and can you apply it to that answer? That's how you score the perfect score in this category here if you want to get all the points. Talk to your language teacher. You have an assignment. How many points do you have to score higher this year to either pass or pass plus? I'll see you.
And remember what got you here. Focus on the fundamentals.
We've gone over time and time again. If you put your effort and concentration into playing to your potential, to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says, at the end of the game, in my book, we're going to be winners.
As we read this bar graph, we will see that if your bar graph falls between 290 to 486, you did not pass ISTEP in the math section. But if you scored a 487 to a 589 in this section, you did pass the math section. And if you scored a 590 to a 790, you scored a pass plus on your math section. Now, if you look on this side of your sheet, this breaks down your score into the different standards. We have number sense, computation. It's so important to be able to know how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide. You need to know those formulas in algebra and geometry. Measurement covers so many items, not just using a ruler, but measuring time and temperature. We also have data analysis and problem solving. Can you read a chart or a graph? The open-ended items, how important it is to be able to write in a complete sentence, even if it says you don't have to. Let's look at this child's scores. Your target score is the score that you're shooting for, the score you would like to get. This is your actual score, and this shows what the state is saying. This is the average of all your other peers in the state of Indiana. Geometry. Your target score is 37, meaning that's what you want to shoot for. But the 59 is what your actual score is. And the state average is 55, so as I see this, you scored above the target score and above the state average. Way to go. Let's look at some open-ended question choices. The one main thing on our math department that we want you to know that's very important is if you're very unsure of your answer, write what you think you know. Do your best. At least write something, because you can receive partial credit for your answer. Because you can receive partial credit for your answer. And that is very important on the ISTEP.
It's been about us becoming the best team we can be. Tonight is not about the past, and it's not about the future. It's about right now. You've got to live in the moment and understand there's going to be adversity and there's going to be challenges. That is what's brought us close together as a team, has been the adversity and the challenge. Live in the moment, cherish each moment, and go out there and play as a team.
Okay, my name is Mrs. Wright, and I'm going to be explaining the science ISTEP sheet for you. If you will look over here on the right-hand side of your sheet, this is where it breaks down your scores. This right here, the bottom level, is that you did not pass. So if you got below a 487, that means you did not pass. The middle section here, 488 to 548, is a pass. If you went above and beyond the pass, you get what's called a pass plus, and that's from 549 to 765. On the bottom of your sheet, this is where it breaks down how you did on each type of question. The target score is that first column listed there, and that is the score that they want you to get on your ISTEP test. And this middle score is what you actually got. So you can see here that this child got a 70 and the target score was a 62. So they did above what they needed them to do. The state average. Now this is where they take all of the scores for the 6th graders in the state and average them together. So the average 6th grader got 64 points here. So you can compare your score to the state average to see if you did better than most kids, about the same, or maybe a little bit worse. This breaks it down by academic standard. And this is where it tells you what type of question it was. So you can see here, the nature of science. These are just basic types questions about science. What science is and how to do different experiments. Scientific thinking is along those same lines. If I want you to really notice this one right here, the mathematical world. Mathematical world. If you scored kind of low on this, maybe there are certain things in math class that you could work on. This one really focuses on using different formulas and knowing your multiplication tables. So if you're struggling with this, you could also get help in math class. Over here on the open-ended items, these are the questions that you read and you write out your answers to. So it tells you here on the far right column how many points were possible. So you'll see on my example here that this student got 2 out of 2 points for the living environment, which is a perfect score. The bottom one here, they only got 1 out of 4. So maybe they didn't have specific details. Remember in language class, you really focus on using supporting evidence from the stories and the paragraphs that you read. So that might be something that you could work on not only in science class, but in language class as well.
Alright, now we're going to look at the social studies scores. Social studies, the passing score is 486. If you reach a 486, you pass the ISTEP in the social studies part. If your score is below that, you did not. But if you also got below or above a 545, you got a pass plus, which is exceptionally high.
Social studies is broken up into 4 categories. You have history, civics and government, geography, and economics. Respectively, the scores, our target scores for social studies passing is 54 in history, 39 in civics and government, a 71 in geography, and a 45 in economics.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
All right.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.